And somebody boiled it down so beautifully the other day. They wrote something nice for me.
Oh yeah, Aaron Stell.
Aaron Stell. But I saved it because he said it. I'm in the people business.
Yeah.
You know, I've always had people next to me, whether I drove or anything in my life, that I was able to help me and said, don't do that, do this. Even though I already had bumped into things. So I try to do that with people like yourself, Aaron, or anybody, because, yeah, Biggie said it, more money, more problems.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, I have an ass full of them. I mean, when you get in this business for a certain thing, there's certain want, vision boards, and I have them too, and I've accomplished a lot of my vision boards. But they cost me a lot. They've cost me sleep. They've cost me things that are just, I can't get back.
Yeah, I think it's like people want to make so much money and they think that it's so easy. Like I laugh because, you know, obviously
I don't think they think it's easy. I think they think it's going to cure their problem.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you're poor and you're broke,
Yeah.
which we've all been, if you haven't had money,
Yeah.
there's no less powerless. There's the most powerless feeling as a man or in anybody when you don't have enough.
Yeah.
So you think, when I get this will cure all of this. And that's, like I said, I've said before, I love that book, Winning, by Tim Grover. Grab it if you get it. Because he talks, because winning don't give a shit. So when you get there, and then it's like pulls the rug, like, there's another, oh, you mean there's another room I got to get to?
Yeah.
And then you get there, and then you can look around as a man, you look around like your kids are grown, or your kids are gone, or your wife is gone.
Yeah.
I mean, I know bunches of them that have had, you know, it's hard. And those are the calls you get at 7, 9. I call people all the time. I mean, I talk to you personally. There are some things that success just hasn't fixed.
Yeah. It's crazy. I did a podcast the other day with Chris from Keller Williams, and he asked me a question. I wish I could re-answer it now. And he asked me,
You
like,
can.
I know, that's on my podcast. That boy. And he asked me, like, what do you do? What do you tell agents that are stuck at 15 deals to get to 30? And I should have said, I obviously threw like all the things, and I should have said what I should have said, because I think this is the true answer: is go find someone that's doing exactly what you want to do in the way you want to do it, and that's how you'll get to 30 deals. Because not that you'll learn how to get to 30 deals. What it'll teach you is to control yourself when you get to 30 deals. Because if not, when you get to 30, then it's 45, then it's 60, then it's 80, then it's 100. And so the problem is that when you're always trying to chase the number, you're always going to be unhappy when you reach your goal. And so the reason why I say you need to go find someone who's doing 30 deals a year, because they have mastered the control of staying at 30 deals a year, because that's their sweet spot. And so it's about finding your sweet spot, and whatever that number is. Sometimes I sometimes wish that I had no office, no nothing, and I just did my 15 deals a year.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Since we're on making each other cry. So, do you think your grandfather was a success?
Oh, for sure. My grandfather was a success in the aspect of the knowledge that he was able to provide for his family. Not that my grandpa left me money or anything like that. And what's crazy, a lot of people don't realize this, like my grandfather and me hated each other when I was a kid. And so it's crazy in life when you're talking about sitting in the house looking up at the thing and everything's going to work out and blah, blah. In moments in time of my lowest level with going through massive depression, being fired from baseball, what am I going to do, losing my fiance, like my whole life just spiraling out of control. If it wasn't for me being fired, I would have never had the second chance with my grandfather, who then would have died, and I would not have probably even cared. And how crazy is that? When my grandmother died, his ex-wife died in 2009. I was in Lansing, Michigan. And I only met her maybe like 5 times my whole life, maybe, that I remember. And my dad called me up and he was like, "Hey, I have some bad news. What's up?" And I said, "Your grandma died." And I said, "Okay." Mm-hmm. Didn't even care. Sadly, didn't even lose a tear. And so I know if I would have continued the life in baseball, my grandfather would have died and I would not have cared because I never got to have that relationship with him. So success for him was to have those Wednesday meetings with me and to teach me all the things he lived over the last 92 years of his life. So I wouldn't make the same mistakes that he made.
So, that being said,
yeah,
your grandfather was nobody famous.
No.
Grandfather was not some of the people that we look at. You know, we all have a moment in our life that changes us. So your grandfather changed you to be a different man. So if we have this time, I'll tell you what changed me.
Yeah.
So I have always been a very self-driven, selfish person where I about myself. I wanted cars and all these things. So when I would always work, you lost a grandmother or somebody, you're like, I never went to funerals. I told people because I went to your grandfather's, and there was a reason why. I always said, I don't go to them. I don't like them. Like, who likes funerals?
Yeah.
But I said, I didn't go. So I missed my grandfather's and all that. I was working. 1999, October 23rd, I get a call with my dad in the car. All I know, my dad starts crying, which I've never seen cry. And he drops the phone. So my mom's screaming on the other line at that. My brother died. He's dead. So I was like, okay. Well, that doesn't go on the script because he's like 30.
Yeah.
So all this stuff happens. He had struggled with substance. So when I went to see him, I thought, well, this selfish son of a bitch died of an overdose. Mm-hmm. So I talked to the lady. She said, let me tell you something about your brother. Your brother was a leader here. He was deaf. Mm-hmm. He was deaf his whole life. So I didn't know sign language either, folks. So I don't know how we got along. Yeah. We're a year apart, but we did. So I go there, and she says, your brother, he went to a fun house, which is for drug recovery. You go through heaven. Mm-hmm. The last part, you go through hell. He was very afraid to go through hell. They gave him a Bible at the end. He gets through it. So I come to find out, I talked to the coroner. He was found with the Bible. He just stopped breathing. He was reading it. No drugs in his system, clean. Mm-hmm. So the thing that changed my life, I had saw him a week before that. I hadn't seen him in a long time. I was at my son's football game, and he looked beautiful. He looked like Jesus. His hair was just beautiful. So me and my wife were going to dinner. So we go to dinner, and I tell my wife, I go, I really love my brother. And being the wife that I have, she goes, you do, but you didn't invite him to dinner. And it's the last time I ever saw him again. Mm. So I did his eulogy, and I said what we're talking about. I said, I never had time for him. I never had time for nobody. Mm-hmm. Better cars, trying to get better house, get all those things gonna make me cool.
Yeah.
And I said, now that we have time, as I'm looking at his body, I'm like, we have no more time. Mm-hmm. That's what changed me. He's with me.
Yeah.
So that's when I started going to funerals. I didn't really know you that well. I started going to everybody's because it ain't for them. Mm-hmm. It's for the people in the front row.
Yeah.
Because I noticed when my brother died who was there and who wasn't. So it changed my direction as a person. Like Stephen said, I'm everybody's father because I'm blessed to sit back like a lifeguard. I get to watch you guys struggle. Sometimes it's hard, man. Sometimes your arms are tied and you watch somebody drowning. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you sit with them and you just say, hey, young buck, it's going to work out.